All right, good morning traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll do live analysis here. We do it every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 10 a.m. We'll have live trading tomorrow with Jay Trader, stocks trader, and then Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, on Thursday. Let's get into the disclosures and jump right in. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So we're going to jump in and look at the S&P here. We can look at other markets as well, but we're going to go through live order flow analysis here with foresight, not hindsight. So we're going to read the current market and give insight to where we think price is going to move next. Good morning, Alan. Alan, you can see my screen and hear me fine. And we're on YouTube as well, everybody. So you can always jump over to YouTube if you can't see my screen in here. All right. All right, Alan, you guys can hear me. If you could just type yes in the advanced webinar there in Discord. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah. All right. Let's jump in here. Let's take a look. Let's go do a little bit of a review as well. Look at some higher time frames. We'll just go over the current market at the moment here, what we see and what's going on here in the S&P E-mini. I'm looking at the June contract. I've rolled over. I think we looked at it yesterday as well. So, well, we have an up move today. You can see it here, 7:45 East Coast time, and you see the bump here at 9:30 to the upside, and we've continued to the upside. Okay, pretty steep pullbacks in this area here to where it broke out from, though. We look at this all the time, where this broke out, where this strong move took place, and we bounced out of this area here and see a nice move to the upside. Pretty nice looking chart here. High liquidity over here, filled. High liquidity on the offer. I'm on the bid here. Doesn't fill, but we see aggressors come in and trade into the high liquidity here at 4,200 and above. Some pretty heavy selling coming in, and this has made it into this kind of back and forth market here. So heavy selling, back down below the swing here. Lots of stops triggered. And then a move right back up. Okay, so back and forth in here. We have FOMC tomorrow, likely going to be pretty choppy here. But the liquidity in here looks beautiful. They're trading right to it, and they're avoiding it here. So due to that, we are still bullish in here. And here comes our breakout. Volume looks good here. Looking for 4207, 4210. To trade here. That's the next area here. Now we got to chew through a lot of selling up in here. It's not liquidity. It's just that there were transactions. There were sellers up here. But buying looks pretty decent here. So looking for them to push it through. Look at the bid here. That looks good as well. Looking for 207, 4207, and then 4210. Okay, so very easy read, I think, right there. Just following the momentum. Okay, the bid looks good, the liquidity looks good up here, the volume looks pretty good. So looking for the continuation. All right. If we get a pullback, well, it's going to be to this liquidity here and maybe a bounce off of 4,200 here. Okay, so yeah, we talk about higher probability outlooks. This is better. This is one of those. It's not the greatest, but it is better. Yesterday, when we went through a lot of different scenarios here, we said, well, the order flow should do this, but it's it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look as high probability. So anyway, yeah, I like the move here and looking for the continuation here. All right, until we see something different. Okay, so anyway, that's a quick read of the order flow here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to jump over to the higher time frame though, and let's take a look at that and see what's going on here. All right, so here's our daily chart over here on the left, and you can see the down day here. Now, Just a review of yesterday. It was kind of right in the middle here, and it was green at that point. This candle here was green on the daily. So we were still looking for exploration here to the upside, and we got it. And then it turned around, and we're looking for a mean reversion play, or the potential for that mean reversion play, which unfolded and then unfolded here more to the downside. Now look at the candle though. Look where it went. Okay, it's down here at these lows here, and then this session today tested the swing low here from back on the 8th of March. Okay, so and we see another wick here, so rejection. Okay, so buyers coming in here. Now the overall structure is negative here. It's bearish. Okay, we're making lower highs and lower lows. So we're still looking for continuation here to the downside. You can see we tested here and just kind of breached it basically. We have not gone back down to this rejection here from the other day or other week. Yeah, we'll see if like these buyers can make it climb back up into maybe not the high here, maybe not this kind of 4240 area here, but somewhere in here. Okay, so looking for that, this kind of in this zone here. So let's look at the hourly here in the middle and where we might go. So we can see the open down here, or at least the low down here. Yeah, let's see if we can get back up into this area up in here, somewhere around there. Looking for buying strength to try to trade back up into maybe, somewhere around here. Is it 37? Yeah, somewhere around, I don't know, 22 to 25 or so. Yeah, 20 looks pretty good. I kind of like that area here. I'm looking for, in this scenario here, buyers to continue to try to trade it up higher. Let's look at the 15-minute here. We can see the rejection candles down here in the move higher. A few wicks at the moment here, but let's see if they can get back up. I like this area here actually, like this structure here, back and forth, break out and then break down. So let's see if we can get back up to about here, 42.15 or so, and get continuation. All right, so now we're just getting an idea of levels, and now we're going to read order flow to understand those levels, the order flow around those levels, to give us insight to the direction of the market. Okay, so right now there's a couple wicks up here, but we still see some, at least so far, there's been some buying. All right, so still looking for continuation if we can get it here. All right, let's jump back in here. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, yeah, all right. So yeah, this was looking pretty strong here. They tested down here, and were able to go through it. So yeah, this was looking pretty good, pretty strong. Looking for that 07 and this 10 level here. Well, we didn't get it. The pullback's been pretty strong. Looks like they want to trade back down into these lows here in this liquidity here. Let's take a look at this though. Okay, we're still making kind of higher highs in here in this move, the bid looked good under here as well, and yet up in here we the sellers came in and were able to drive it back down lower. All right, so anyway, let's see buyers trade it right back up to the top of the range here, 98. They should be able to do that. And then let's see if we can get the bigger move here that we were looking for earlier, back up into this kind of, well, first 03, 05, and then 07, and then 10. Okay, we're just looking for that scenario here. We're gonna, go through these different scenarios here. You can see what's happening already. We did get up here to just about 98, and you can see what happened. Okay, so sellers are going for this liquidity here. I'm very curious to see if they stay in the book and transact here, and what the reaction is going to be. Okay, so let's go through some scenarios down here and what's going on. All right, so sellers came in pretty hard. They weren't even able to make a higher high here. Okay, not even an equal high. as you guys can see here. So in this move here, sellers remain in control. All right, so this all kind of developed when we're looking at our higher time frame here. So here they go into this 190. Okay, there they go. All right, and now very curious to see what happens here. Okay, so let's go through these scenarios and then look for the order flow that matches the scenario. Okay, nice stop run. Boy, the offer here is really pushing hard, as you guys can see. And now the reaction to that, are we getting more sellers or are we getting more buyers in here? It's not really too clear here. Okay, now we got our buyers. See the reaction to this liquidity down here? Well, we had the buyers come in and now they're starting to show, and now look at them here. Okay, sellers did take them on. Now we have our insight here, or the big transaction into high liquidity here. Let's see what this is, the event. So what's the order flow around this event here? And we're getting more sellers. All right, sellers, let's see it hit it into 86 and 84. Not finding the sellers down here, at least not yet. Okay, here they are. They should be able to do it now. Let's see it. Sellers hit down into 85. Okay, there's 86. That's about it, just 86. Okay, back to the top of the range here. All right. So buyers did make a slightly higher high in here. Okay. We have a big stop run here. Traded down into this kind of 86 level. We have some structure down here. And let's see it. Let's see if these buyers can now try to breach it here and trade back up into maybe 92. First 90, they got to get through 90. Don't like it in essence here, because we want to see the bid follow up underneath here. Okay, we want to see support underneath here, and we're not getting that right now. There we go. Here's the support we're looking for. See them come in, looking for buyers to take it higher. Here we go. They should be able to still take it higher. Let's see if they can get up to 92. 92, 93, that's where the liquidity seems to be. Okay, our structure is starting to just slightly change here. Okay, a slightly higher high here. Okay, here we go. Let's see these buyers. Now they should be able to move it. Should be able to do it. And they just stop. They stop buying. Sellers come in. Okay. All right. So structure, as you guys can see, like what we're looking at here, as you can see, like a lower low here, but a higher high here and here, and this is a higher low. Again, support on the bid here. So let's see these buyers right up here at 90. If we get the buyers here at 90, we should get our move. 92, 93. And let's see if we get them. Nope. Okay, here they go. Okay, right a little bit higher. One more big green dot and we should get the move here. There we go. All right, there's our move. All right, so up to Just not 92 yet, but still looking for it. Okay, there's 92. There's 93. All right, it's pretty strong buying here. You know, the first target is basically up here around right around where it came to, and I would anticipate a pullback up there. Here's why. We're just going to draw up our structure. This is where we kind of broke down from up here. You can see it here. Okay, so we just tested to here. Okay, now if we really get a lot of buying in here, I don't know if we're gonna. If we do though, we see significant buying above our line that we just made in here around this 93.50. We're gonna come up to 4,200. Okay, or let's call it here that the first this little top of the structure here around this 98 level. Okay, I'd be looking for that, and let's see it. Let's see if they have it here. Nothing shaking. Good morning, Jeff. All right, good to see you. Here we go. All right, buyers, let's see the quick move here. Now we want to take a look though at the structure along the way here and start to kind of gauge value here, right? We're not looking for a 1,000,000 point move all of a sudden here. We may go exponential, but this is what we're kind of gauging here. A channel. Okay, it's just basically a channel of just like if it was a consolidation, like a sideways horizontal channel. Okay, it's just that it's slightly trending up, and then it pulls back, and then it trends up, and then it pulls back, and then it trends up. So we're finding that seems to be playing out here. Okay, it kind of broke it there, but we're right back up. Okay, it did not break the swing low down here. Okay, again, want to see the book here support it underneath. Okay, on the bid. I want to see these guys at 95 pull. That would be nice. And then we can go up to 98. Okay, there's our bid. Our bid looks pretty good. They're coming in. They're starting to come in. There they go. Okay, still looking for higher. 98 looks good, and that would be a target there. There it is. Beautiful move. Okay, so yeah, that's a nice profit, take profit achieved there. Yeah, so anyway, this these aren't trade recommendations. This is for education only, but you guys can understand the scenarios here that we're going through. This is what's important, is to have from your studies have some sort of idea of where price might be going next, based on, in this case, we're using market structure, and we're using the where that volume is transacting within that structure, and the reaction to supply and demand in the order book. These three elements here, and then we're going through different scenarios looking for, okay, well, due to this, we should get our buyers that come in, and we'd be looking for that move higher. So if we get, so then it's an if then, more or less, like if we get our volume, or what we're looking for in that scenario, then we have the likelihood for this to play out in a specific direction. Okay, now yeah, just about at 4,200 here. Looking for it to transact. Here we're going to look at, kind of take a step back, look at the bigger picture as well. Okay, so 4205 looks really good up here. If we can get our buyers up here, there's kind of higher time frame structure, that we're kind of looking at. There's liquidity up here. See how this is kind of the key here is matching. If we draw this kind of sloping line here, connecting the highs, there's liquidity that matches that. Okay, look at the order book here. Look how they flipped here. We're looking for buyers here. We're looking for buyers to take this, try to take this higher here. Okay, got a quick reaction by sellers right into that liquidity. So they took them on. And they transacted. Okay, these guys just pulled. Don't want to see that. If we get our buyers again, we should get the move up into 02 or 01 and a quarter, and then maybe we can get our breakout. So let's see. Guys, you can really see it in here. This is the beauty of the heat map. See how watch how the like demand comes in here, and it's not just us. Like we're trying to look. We're not looking for a signal. We're looking for context here, and we're not the only ones. These traders here are testing the market. This is why the heat map works so nicely. See how they came in here with a little bit more and they found buyers, right? So there's buying pressure in here. We know it, right? Now we want to see them really kind of ramp up here, and we want to see the buyers come in and then pull up here, and then we'll get the move up into 04, 05. Okay, so here's another test, right? They're constantly kind of gauging the pressures in the market here, the sentiment. Okay, so we're finding a little bit of sellers in here. It's kind of turning back and forth now. Okay, now if we can get back up here and get buyers again, look, they don't even have to really move the order book, and they're getting buyers. So all we need is a bit more buying up here, maybe a little bit of pressure on the order book at a higher level here, and we'll get the move. Okay, so the sentiment is up to the upside here. We're gauging the sentiment here. Okay, see how they came in here? Now, what was the reaction though? Our sentiment was, or our idea was, well, we should find more buyers if they're going to come in here. Okay, well, we just got our answer. Okay, they just tested it. Here we go. Now we're getting follow through. Now we're getting follow through. They had to bump it up with higher liquidity here. Okay, and now we're getting our follow through up into 04 and 05 here. 05 will be next. Okay, there's 05. Let's see if we can get up to our original target was this 07 up here. Okay, which looked pretty good in here earlier. Now, we want to take a step back though and take a look at the bigger picture though, not get caught up into the order flow here. Bigger picture is we're up at this important level now. Okay, there's actually, we can look at it in two different ways: horizontal line and our vertical line. Okay, any questions on that using the heat map like this? This is where it debunks the theory of we're all trying to get some sort of nitty-gritty insight here. I don't know if that really exists. That's maybe the search for that holy grail. Instead, we're reading the auction. What happens when they're testing these areas in here? Okay, does that liquidity transact? What's the reaction after that transaction? This happens all day long on all time frames. Okay, see how they're pulling liquidity here? What if we get sellers in here? Well, they're going to be able to drop it right down to 01 or 4200, the figure. Okay, but you can see how they kind of like, oh, okay, well, we're going to show a little more demand here. And what happens? We found some buyers. Okay, well, let's see, show a little more demand. We should come up into 06. Well, we found some buyers here previously. I would be looking for more buyers to show up again here if there's more demand. Okay, well, they kind of pulled away and we found some sellers here. Now we want to see these guys stay in the book here, not just show demand. Showing demand also helps tremendously, but if they stay in the book and transact, that has more significance. All right, let's see it. Let's see if we get more demand in here. Buyers. Not yet. And it's really, they haven't really made a decision there. Now they're making a decision. Okay, so let's see 06. 06 and 07. Okay, I don't like it that it's dark in here, but we're still finding buyers. I want to see them move it up a little bit, and I want to see it push price upwards. Okay, so we're up at 06 now. Still looking for 07 here. So look at the bid. See the bid? See how they pulled here on the offer? And we're finding our buyers. Okay, now we're at 07. Okay, 08. Do you guys have any questions about that? Yeah, you're always amazed how you can read the order book like this. It really it's we'll go through the process again here, again and again. It's it's getting kind of a feel for things. In fact, it's interesting. I've spoken to many professional traders over the years. There's a lot of older floor traders that they read the players. They were like on the field, in the playing field, on the football field, whatever you want to call it, and they're reading the sentiment by reading the other traders. And when they saw Bookmap, a lot of them, the vast majority of them, this was the first time they were able to read a chart and kind of gauge that sentiment. Okay, and it's kind of the same idea. Well, this is like pit noise in here. They're on the bid, showing, like kind of waving, like, they want, they've got their hands open, right? They're looking for, they want contracts. So now we're up at 42.14. Okay, so now let's just, we'll go over it again and again here. It's I. Okay, finally got it here. Yeah, we'll go over it again and again, no problem. But I want to take a look at our bigger picture as well, because we're going to look at multiple time frames. And let's see, Summit Manager, you're trying to understand basic volume order flow here. Appreciate effort every day. Yeah, you're welcome. That's what we're here for. All right, so we're breaking out here now of our bigger range here. Okay, now we thought that breakout would happen up here. Okay, and we didn't get it. Everything was looking pretty good for it too. In fact, I quoted this as like being a higher probability move, because look at the volume and look at the pressure and the move of the volume. It looks good. They were bidding up here. Looks good. Same ideas, same concepts that we just read, and we got it. This time, you can see that we didn't get buyers up here. Okay, and then they started to pull here. That's not what we're looking for, and we're getting sellers in here. Right, so we look for the first test, well, a couple of first tests. This one here and this little nook right here, this little pullback and breakout. So I'd be looking for a retest back there. Sellers took it down. They took it down to where it broke out from. Okay, so this goes back. This is more volume study. Okay, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the heat map. Okay, it may, but this is volume. Okay, buyers came in and moved it here. This is where they came in. Okay, this is where they came back down to retest this area. Now, if they can get the sellers below it here, then look out, right? And they did. They were decisive, and they were able to take it down lower. And then we started to look at this consolidation, and we get another breakdown here, and then we're looking at okay, something different down here in this range. Okay, made a lower low here, but they made a slightly higher high here. Slightly higher high here. Okay, so looking for the breakout, yeah, but it takes a little while for these to kind of turn around. So having a kind of deep pullback makes pretty good sense to begin with here. To make a slightly higher low, because we had a slightly higher high here. So that's the expectation. Okay, this is understanding market structure and the volume and the possibilities for these moves within that structure. Okay, as you can see, it kind of transitioned. It transitioned from kind of sideways and kind of downward market here, or more like this is the case, to slightly upwards. Okay, and then here's our transition here in the slightly lower low. Great. Looking for buyers here, looking for them to breach this and reach up to this liquidity up here. Okay, that's just based on structure. And in fact, let me show you here. Take the heat map off. We'll even take the volume bars or volume dots off. Okay, we're just looking at best bid and offer, and we're starting to understand the market structure by best bid and offer. Okay, so and then there's the move. Okay. All right, so we'll put the volume and heat map back on and then go forward here. Okay, so we're looking for the move back up into higher liquidity, back up into we really like the 98 up here. Okay, that did transact, and then well, okay, if they can continue on 4200 and then a little bit of sideways, a little bit of a pullback here. Found more buying pressure. Great. Okay, we're looking for 04, 05, and then boy, it just kept going here. Okay, now we're back up at 4220 and high liquidity in here. Okay, now this high liquidity in here, let's take a look. Okay, and we also looked at our kind of higher time frame structure. Okay, we kind of took a step back and looked at this 0405 area, and that's going to be pretty critical if they can get through that, and they obviously did. And then and we're able to trade it up into 4220 here. Okay, the high liquidity is up here though. Okay, we're up here at 32 or so, 32, 33. All right, the question here. Since the time change in California, your POC and okay, so yeah, this is a bug basically, or we just need to update it. So you're gonna have to change your POC and VWAP manually. All right, so so do that to match it up here. It's just due to the time change, like you said. All right, so for example, let's go with VWAP here. It's under here, right? Yeah. Okay, VWAP here. Change it to, well, for you, I guess it's going to be 5:30 California time. Okay, and and instead of, it should be 630, but it's yeah, we haven't switched it over yet, I guess. This has been a bug for years, but I've reported it, several times. All right, more buyers still coming in, so still looking. We have no reason to think any differently. It is trending. So, and we get quite a bit of buying up here, looking for them to kind of try to break it out up into 42.25. That would be the next area. But before we start to look for that, let's look at the structure here. How's this structure playing out? Okay, this is really important to understand the volume within that structure. So we made a lower low here, okay, off of this area here, and we just slightly broke out here. All right, so let's let's get rid of our lines, and then let's take a look at something in here. Okay, even in here. Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to break it, to be honest, to the downside. We'll see. So slightly higher high into high liquidity. That did transact. Okay, so let's see if we get some sellers down here at this kind of 17 area here. And we're not. You can see them on the bid here. Okay, so interest on the bid, and price moved up. All right, so we found some buyers. Okay, let's see if they can make it to this liquidity here, okay, which is the swing high. I don't like it in here. See how it's kind of dark? It's indecisive. We want to see something a little more decisive. Okay, still buying pressure in here a little bit. Okay, a little bit on the bid here. Let's see how they test it. See how it's tested like that. Now a little bit more. They should be able to get this liquidity here at 42.21 1/4. Be really careful on these though. It's dark underneath here. Sellers can come in and trade it very quickly right back down to this liquidity. Okay, just like this. All right, so it's understanding the orders in here. Okay, the sentiment. Summit Manager, how can we know long short liquidity here? I don't quite know what you mean. These guys are pulling here at 16 as well, so a little more selling here. Then we're looking for 14, this area here. Look at the offer starting to kind of trail down a little bit. Okay, now see a sentiment change in there. See that? Okay, now we've got to look at the structure. Okay, so you see the sentiment change in here. Can you guys feel that or see that? Right? That was a change. Okay, and look what happened. Buyers came in. Okay, now it's kind of a little wishy-washy here. Still bullish. Okay, they're coming in again. Okay, but see how they pulled though when price came down toward them? So that's the wishy-washy part. We just don't know if they're really going to be buyers or not. Okay, well, we got our answer now. Now we're up at this 21. Okay, and look at the sellers compounding in. All right, so not really seeing much right now at the moment. I don't really see anyone kind of moving, or with supply and demand in here. I don't see many. Well, there's more sellers than there is buyers in this little area here. That's for sure. Okay, so maybe they can try to reach back down to this 15 or 16 level here. Here, now we're getting some insight. High liquidity, 1875. Okay, what's the reaction? All right, well, now they pulled. Now they're down here lower, so they're pushing it. Okay, now we're getting them. We don't have a sentiment change quite yet, but we found buyers. Okay, that's the first part here. First kind of key here. Okay, what's the sentiment after this transaction? Oh, not much, not much. Yeah, it's kind of just kind of floating here in this area here. We found some buyers here. Okay, now if we get buyers back up above here, here we go. Now I'm looking for the move to 20. Okay, we're looking for more buyers above this area here. Okay, let's see it. Let's see it. Buyers on the bid. Let's see them ramp it up here. I don't want to see this. I don't like it. I don't like seeing more liquidity on the offer here. But we're still finding buyers. Interesting. Interesting. This is an interesting dynamic here. Okay, a little push on the bid here. We should get them to trade into 18 and back to 20. So it's dark in here and we're still finding buyers. Okay, that's interesting. Well, so a little bit of a demand at a higher level. We should be able to get back up there then. And you can see that that didn't happen. Let's see if they try now. Nope. Let's see if they try again. Okay, there we go. Let's see now. Do we get them? We should go to 18 and then maybe we can get to 20 here. Okay, a little more on the bid here. Not finding them though. All right, so maybe we can get sellers to trade back down to here, 14. It's dynamic here. You know, it's changing, it's flowing. Like you can see, they came actually in on the offer here. So then this is hard read in here. It's a hard read to understand kind of what's going on. So stay away. You know, we're looking for clarity here. Okay, well, we got our buyers here now. Yeah, here we go. So a little more here, and we're getting our push to 20. And that's a hard read. And you'll see how, you know, when we start to look at some of these reads in here, notice how, like, you know, sellers come right back in and pound it right back down. Oh, no problem, Dom Shoots, Dom Shoots Clips. You're not interrupting. It's a good question. We caught it yesterday as well. So let's see. So after a test like that, and someone takes the bait, you're looking. Well, it's not. Yeah, sometimes there's traps, and we can kind of read that, you know, the trap volume, of course, or, you know, where it might go. But it's not really about that. It's just reading the sentiment here. By more supply, more demand, and then, you know, within the structure here, like right now, we should get a breakout here, and we're getting it right when I'm saying it. It's really about the sentiment in here. There was buying pressure, okay, and they're pulling here on the offer, and then we kind of saw it come in here, like, wow, okay, they're starting to bid up. We should get some buyers here, and they should be able to trade it back to 23. They pulled at 23. Okay, great. They should be able to go a little bit higher. Okay, they didn't. They traded right back down, and they stayed in the order book here, okay, at 20 3/4. Okay, so, and look at again here's on the bid here. Let's see if they stay here in the bid. We should get buyers, and they should be able to trade to 24. Okay, so yeah, I don't really like this one. I want to see them up a little bit higher and see how these guys are pulling. So I don't trust this bid here right now. And when we're finding that nor do the buyers here, right? So sellers are going to test it. They're going to test this area here. They're likely going to test down to 19 here. Okay, there's the move to 19. And even at 19, they moved it. They pulled that liquidity. Okay. All right, so let's take a look now. All right, some buying up here, but there's really nothing in the order book telling us, and we're kind of in the middle of the structure here. Don't really see much. Okay, some selling coming in, testing where these buyers broke out from here. Let's see if we get some more selling in here. No, and what about the offer? Nothing here. See how the buyers can, now they're starting to show up here, but see how the buyers can lift it right back up into these areas here pretty easily if they want to. All right, guys, let's take a bigger step back here. We'll go over this again and again, but reading just these very simple things. This is not complex. It's very straightforward, and it works on all time frames. So that's where we're going to take a look at the bigger picture here, and start to look for pullbacks or follow-throughs, etc. Okay, so looks like we're above this 10 level. Looks pretty decisive so far, but we can get a pullback to 42.10. Let's see. Sumit Manager. Can I explain again the liquidity that that we spoke of earlier? Yeah, I think we just kind of went over a bit of it, but we can do it on higher time frame as well. Okay, so let's zoom out. Let's take a look at it. Well, higher time frame, and let's also right click in here, go to heat map settings, and we're going to I usually have it on default here, except for this I have all the way up on the dimming. And let's just filter the heat map a bunch, and try to look at just very longer higher term or higher liquidity here. Okay, and here's our view. Okay, well, here they are. This is at 42.25, and then also up here further around this 32.33 area. And that's it. This is the most significant liquidity in this view. Okay, now how does that fit into our higher time frame? Well, let's go to our higher time frame and take a look. Okay, so we started off the webinar as like maybe up into some of these areas here around, right around here. If we're going to stay, we're kind of in a downtrend here. You know, we made kind of an equal low here. Maybe it breached it slightly, so I'm kind of looking for a lower high here, even though today is an up day and we know that. So we're looking for a test back up into I liked yeah, I like this kind of I like this swing here at 34, but slightly lower than this swing here at 44. Yeah, that's about right. So let's see them test these highs up here around 36, 37, something like that. Okay, let's take a look at the 15-minute chart over here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Again, we're getting a bit of a pullback here. Right now on the 15-minute, we see a few wicks up here. So maybe we'll get a pullback to somewhere around here, 08. And let's put in what's the look back period here. We can look at 1 day. Okay, and yeah, here's our move up. Okay, maybe a pull back to about here, like yeah, 07, 05, somewhere around in here, these wicks. Okay, pull back, maybe some consolidation, and then maybe continuation. But it's the order flow is going to tell us. So let's jump back. All right, so yeah, made a higher high here. We're starting to consolidate though, as you guys can see. And let's see. Sellers coming in. All right, so here we go. All right, so seller's going to try to drive it now, and they're going to try to drive it away from this area here on size. Okay, unless this is a false breakdown. Okay, so we're going to watch this closely. Let's go back to our original heat map settings and hit restore, except the dimmer I'll put back to 100%. Okay, they're pulling on the bid here. They're adding a little bit on the offer. All right, so sellers, let's see if sellers can bring it down to 12 or maybe our 10 level. And we're getting our answer here. The bid all of a sudden got really strong in here, and we found some buyers, and they're pulling now on the offer. Okay, now let's just take a step back though and look at the structure in here. Okay, what's the structure telling us? Okay, well, we're making lower lows and lower highs still. Okay, and let's see, are they going to support this move here, this little move here? Let's see. Yeah, so far so good. Now up here, see how it's dark underneath here? We're still kind of watching it here. All right, a little bit more on the bid here. All right, do we find buyers? No. Nope. All right, so sellers should be able, unless a shift changes here, we're looking for sellers to trade into this 1350 here. And they're pulling here. Okay, the bid's actually starting to show some interest now though. See how the blue under here? Watch this blue under here and even a little higher here. Okay, so we're not going to get that move. Okay, and then this totally disrupted this liquidity here. 290 came in and disrupted the whole picture. Buyers seem to want it though. See the sentiment in here. See how they're kind of interested. It's not repelling them, so they are trading into it right now. You can see. So they want it. You know, they're willing to trade and tangle with these guys. Okay, pull back and let's see them attack again here, right up into the 16 level. Okay, they seem to want it. Okay, buyers, you got it here. If you want it, go for it. Right? No, and they're not going to. They're not doing it. Okay, so sellers ought to bring it down to 13 now. Okay, Okay, see how this disrupts everything here, or we have to read it. What's the reaction to it? Now we get our move to 16, and we're getting both of those moves here, both of them. Reaction to it, up to it. Now they trade back into it and through it back to 16 and to 13. Okay, now it was this in here that made that unfold here. Now look at the buyer's claw right back after it, and sellers come right back in to counter. Okay, so we're just between 13 and 16 right now, and really nothing in between. Nothing in between right now. Okay, here's some buying pressure. Now, before it was countered by selling pressure. Look at the bid, though. Look at the bid. See how they're trading into it now. Jill, do I look at CVD? Knick-knack, easy for me to say when I know what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm trying to teach you how to look for it too. And going through the process here. And like I said, this works on all time frames. We're going to go through it on smaller time frames so we can go through many examples. Jill, do I ever look at CVD for clues? Not really. I'm not a big fan of indicators. CVD is this kind of this line down here, and sometimes it plays out nicely, but I mean, we used it the other day and saw a great move. It just didn't make any sense that CVD was up and up and up, but we kept on kind of going down and then sideways, and then it just took a long time for it to turn around. All right, guys, well, so here's our move back down. We talked about this on the higher time frame, a move to test 10. Okay, so here we are at 10. Let's see if we get more selling. See, look at all the buying over here. The structure here. This is see the low volume node in here. You don't even need to use profiles to know that. You can kind of see the profiles in these already. Here's why. Look at all of this volume here. A little bit of volume here, although a big volume dot doesn't matter. It's just one little area, and look at all this volume here. This is going to be a low volume node. Okay, let's get rid of all of these drawings again. Okay, and we're bouncing off of it. Bouncing off of 10. They didn't even stay in the order. Yeah, they did. They stayed and transacted. Yeah. So yeah, Jill, I think it's, I mean, use CVD, but like I think it's very important to use it as a confluence. All of these indicators should be used as a confluence. Even these stops and icebergs, it's a confluence. It's not a signal. Now, for example, Scott, he actually, after I say that, he kind of does use it as a signal, but in a very different way. He's looking for significant stop runs or significant iceberg transactions or both. But that's the event, right? Like we were just covering the event of like, here's an event that took place, a significant event. They traded into this high liquidity here, the buyers. Okay, now what's that order flow around that event? That's so he's not it's not an alert, it's not a signal, it's an alert to pay attention now to order flow around that event. That's what's important. Okay, so CVD is similar. I would suggest consider using it that way, and instead of some sort of like kind of signal. Look at it like let's just take stops and icebergs off here for a moment. Okay, and look at it as a some sort of additional insight to the order flow. Like, look at this. This is slowly creeping up. All right, well, what if we get buyers here? What if the order book starts to show us something? Now you got something in CVD. Beautiful. Look at it play out. It's gonna trade here, 16 and a half, right? Because you know there's more buying pressure in this little move right here. And this consolidation in here, there are more buyers. CVD is telling us that. So we're looking for the move up into this 16 and a half. Okay, so we're looking at the order flow at that point. Now, within this consolidation, what are we looking for? Buyers up here, order book to support it on the bid, and them to pull away on the offer, and buyers to trade it through. Because there's more buying pressure in this consolidation period. Okay, does that make sense? Does that help, Jill? Let's see, Sam, you have a burning question when you say sellers, buyers adding liquidity. What does it mean? Well, it just means these are limit buy and sell orders. On the bid, these are limit buy. Down here on the offer, these are limit sell. It's liquidity. That's what the market needs, orders to trade. Oh, you're welcome, Jill. Yeah. So this is a nice little signal here. Well, signal. I don't want to say signal, but there's a nice little read in here, right? And this was helpful. CVD was helpful here. So now we're even breaking out further, yeah, now we're up to 18. All right. So again, though, I would look for this as read the order flow first. Order flow rules first, and look for the order flow. Now, to get some additional insight in this little range here, well, we got some additional insight with CVD. Okay, it helped us. Let's see here. Yeah, so basically, Sam, when liquidity, like, just you think about it, it's supply and demand, and think of it this way. You go shopping at the supermarket, and you see that they're bringing in a bunch of potatoes. You're interested in potatoes. Okay, well, in general the kind of bigger picture of what a potato is worth, and what you're willing to pay for it. And that's kind of like longer term liquidity, basically, that there's kind of a constant supply and demand, that is, we know that there's sellers up here and there's buyers down here. Okay, so now what if something comes in and disrupts that? Okay, in this example here at 42.20, someone came in with higher liquidity in here. There's more supply. Now, what's the reaction to that supply? Does it repel it? Okay, what does the market think of the aggressors here? Market buy and sell orders. They're telling us what they think of this liquidity. Okay, looks like they want it, in fact. So I'm looking for them to transact. Okay, the bid is starting to show. See how this is kind of repelling it here, but this is already digested in the market, this 42.20. Okay, this smaller, well, here, this kind of liquidity underneath, it's blue, and it's not very high liquidity, but look at how it's kind of inching up and showing more demand here. They want to be buyers in here, and that's pushed price back up into this already understood level of supply. Okay, so you'll see, like, a lot of traders with their tweets, or like in our Discord chat room, they'll talk about the liquidity, the longer term liquidity acting like a magnet, and that is true. That is typically true, because this is where there are sellers. If buyers want to meet the sellers, they're up here. You can see it even better in stocks. And let's take a look at Apple. And you can see here in Apple how they are advertising basically at 9:30 a.m. Look at where they're showing liquidity. Okay, 150, 149.75 or 80 down here. Okay, 152, they trade into it. 153 is the next level. Buyers are interested in it. They should trade into it. Looking for them to do it. Okay, now, what if we have underneath, see how you can get this kind of like a skew. Whoa, all of a sudden a lot of demand comes in. Okay, well, there were already buyers interested. And they actually did test it a couple of times here. And see underneath here, they're kind of showing a skew of more demand at a higher level. We should trade this. Okay, this 153 should trade. Okay, does that make sense? Starting to understand what repels, and there's our trade. And like, again, just, you know, think of very simple examples. I think is very helpful. Just think that you know, if you want a new iPad, and you know, there's a ton on the market, well, then likely what's going to happen is we're going to you know, see a price drop. Okay, all right, so I answered your question. Good. Yeah, it's a very good question, and it's one that you know, doesn't always hold true. That well, we need to see if it repels it or if they want it. Sometimes you'll see high liquidity try to push it higher, and then the sellers come in and they go right for it. But this is a classic example of it right here in front of us in Apple. It doesn't get much better. High liquidity, they pull, add higher, push it into 153, and we're still going higher here. Okay, this kind of reaction to this high liquidity or more demand on the bid kept buyers engaged to trade up and transact with these guys at 153. Okay. And yeah, sometimes it's a spoof. You know, sometimes they have no intent to trade here, and they're trying to just kind of show demand, but they have no intent to trade, and then that is a spoof, and that is illegal. I wouldn't say this is that case here, because they did stay in the order book here, and they were willing to transact. Let's take a quick look, quick peek at it here. Yeah, I don't even know if maybe they did transact. No, they didn't even transact. But you can see the best bid was in here. Someone could have hit sell and transacted with them. So yeah. Anyway, Jeff, you actually find CVD very useful, except over rollover weekends. Yeah, well, that's fine. I would just highly suggest read the order flow and then use the CVD as I mean, there's so many false positives that I've seen, and the order flow really never you know, fools you. It might happen really quickly and might, you know, change very dynamically, but for the most part, the order flow it's pretty spot on. It tells you. Right now, if you get additional information from other add-ons or confluences and indicators, great, you know, fantastic. Just make sure that it fits the order flow. That's all. Okay, and you can build it. You can build a trading plan right around that. Like, for example, here, you know, there's more selling in here than there is buying. Okay, well, based on that, and then does this reject up here? Yeah, it's rejecting. All right, so now do we get sellers into this area here? All right, so they should be able to take it down to the bottom of the range then. Okay, down to 16. Okay, makes sense. So just another quick read there, and it's playing out nicely by understanding the most volume in this area here. Okay, beautiful, beautiful move into 16. All right, so there's more selling in here. They should be able to drive it down to 14 as well. Okay, now let's take a look at the order book as well here. Okay, because we're down at the bottom of the level. Yeah, might get a pullback to about 17.5, but basically in general we're looking for the move down to this 14. Okay, and there's another quick little CVD read in here. Okay, in this case it worked out pretty nicely in both cases. All right, let me get back to the Discord chat here, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, Sampan, you're in here as well. All right. Let's see. Would I recommend a beginner to learn by watching something like Apple or ES? Well, these webinars here, our goal is to cover order flow and provide you a foundation. You know, we can reading and understanding Bookmap is and what is this chart telling you? What is the order flow telling you? That's the key here. Okay, it's not a trading plan that we're going over. Okay, this is something like, for example, a trading plan would be like, okay, well, you're looking at price structure, and then you're looking at the volume, and you're looking at the supply and demand. Then you're looking at a confluence with your cumulative volume delta. Okay, now you go back and you study that over and over and over again, and you start to understand when you have an advantage. Okay, and there's just so many different ways to look at it. Okay, so Tom B, he'll be in the room in Discord here shortly, and he trades a very specific way. Okay, he looks at volume profile. So if you're a volume profile trader, then you should go check it out. The the goal here in these webinars is to go through order flow and in general that can be applied to any trading plan. If you're looking at patterns, you're looking at profiles, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's take a quick look at profile here. What do we see? Okay, well, yeah, I mean, pretty ugly looking profile here, but beautiful breakout. Okay, we even had this test to 4210. Okay, and look at all the volume that's trading up here now. Right, the majority of this entire session has been like, well, we started around here, I think, right, 10 o'clock. And yeah, and we saw this strong move, and we were looking for that strong move. Okay, up into these areas, up in here. Boy, that seems like ancient time now. But our 05 area, God, we were looking for 98 first, and then the figure. We were way down here looking at it. Yeah, we were looking for the turnaround down here, and we're just looking for targeting high liquidity here. It kind of shifted and changed, but 98 showed liquidity in there at that time, and then there was 4200, and then we were looking at this kind of 05, and then back in this area here we were looking at 07 and 10 around just after 10 o'clock. Okay? And this has been the important level actually. Now if you look at it, high liquidity, breakout, retest, we're still above it. All right, so now let's take a look here also at our higher time frame. Okay, so yeah, would still like to see it come up into this kind of 36 area here. Things are slowing down a little bit. You can see on the 15-minute. You know, strong moves, and then it's just you know, it's kind of sideways here. Wicks on both sides. I would recommend that. Well, you watch the how to get going here for beginner. Have you seen our educational course? I'm so bad. Okay. And why I mentioned that. So yeah, watch at least part one and part two to understand what makes price move. Okay, market mechanics. This is going to be a totally different education than anything else. Okay, you might have been studying volume profile for ages or patterns or something. It does not matter. I want you to just kind of, you know, forget everything for a moment and just look at the market mechanics, the market structure, and then build out from there, because that is really important. What makes the market move is really important. Patterns don't matter, and I view you know, volume profile as a pattern as well. It's just you know, the pattern is like you're looking at, you know, these profiles, and you're just looking at it basically tilted on its side, and volume collecting in here, and then understanding these areas in here. So that's not what matters. What matters is what makes it up, what's behind it all. Okay, so for example, right now, you know, we're in this kind of area, and we're finding some buying interest. Great. Well, they should be able to explore it up here then, right? They should be able to hit 42.20. If these buyers really mean business, they're going to come up and trade into here. We're looking for them to explore this area here, and if they can do that with size, then we're looking for 42.25, and here they are. They're already at 42.20. Okay, so great. Let's see if now let's read the order flow in here. Okay, now is the bid strong? Okay, we're likely going to get a pullback here, probably to about here, and we're already almost did it here, to about this 18 level, 17 and 3/4. Okay, and now we're back up again. Okay, well, we might even get a deeper pullback to here. Okay, but there's a lot of buy volume coming in. Okay, and that means it can explore the end of this profile here. Okay, and start to transact and build value up in that area here and fill it in. And then we look at Bookmap here, and then yeah, we'd be looking for the move up into the high liquidity up to 42.25. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, finding these webinars extremely helpful. Yeah, excellent. That's really great to hear. I mean, like I said, like, you know, here's our move. Here we go. Right, here's 20. Okay, now let's read it very closely in here and see what's going on. Okay, is there still buying pressure above it? Not so clear right now. What about the bid and the offer? Not so clear. Okay, here a little bit more buying pressure. All right. Okay, a little bit of selling. All right, not so clear. Okay, now let's see. We're looking for an edge in here, some sort of clarity. And yeah, sellers just came in and knocked it right back down. Okay, now that's just new selling coming in here. Okay, now what if we get buyers back up above this little area here? Let's take a look. Don't see them yet. Looking, actually more sellers, so they should be able to drive it lower. 17. Okay, let's see, do we get a little more? Yeah, let's see if they can drive it into 16, maybe 15. Okay, we're looking for them down here, sellers. We're not getting them now. Not getting them. Do we get buyers up here? No. Okay, a little more selling here. All right, sellers, let's see it then. You should be able to move this back down to 16. Okay, see how you can read that? You can read the sentiment in here. Okay, a little more selling down here. Not yet. There they are. Well, you know, that's hard to read, but it came in very, very quickly. Okay, we're down to like let's zoom out. Okay, we're down into this liquidity down here. Okay, now we're just going to zoom out and do the same thing. Okay, still more selling pressure. All right, so sellers should be able to reach 12. So this is a failed breakout here. Strong buying looks pretty good. We're looking for the move to 20. Got it. It went through it. We're looking for 25. Pull back, hard selling coming in. So looking for these lower liquidity levels. Right now, I know that's very quick here in this move here. Right, and you know, we're dissecting. We can dissect this and look at all of this here. You can look at Elliott wave within here if you want, whatever, or you can look at trend lines, etc. You can look at your profiles, etc. But it was the order flow in here that we saw the shift in the change, right? And then we started to look for this. Now higher time frame, same idea. Okay, so what do we see on the higher time frame here? Well, it's not too conclusive right now, to be honest. We made a higher high here, just made a lower low here, and we're between 42.25 liquidity and 42.10 liquidity. We'll go through one scenario here. We have our European close coming up in 5 minutes, and we can look at this whole area of not liquidity here, but traded volume, transactions. Okay, this whole profile here, and we can look for what if sellers get back down below it here at 42.10. Okay, we'd be looking for strong selling to get back down here. And if they can get back down in here, they're going to go for these other areas of value in your profile, or just other areas of a lot of transactions down in here. And this would be the first area, 4,200. And there's also a VWAP there. So you have a little confluence with an indicator. Okay, and it makes sense too. We can even look at it this way. Right? So a move back down here makes pretty good sense. Okay, and retest this area down here. But we need to see heavy selling to do that. All right, and if you can get even heavier selling below 4,200, look out. You know, they're going to trade back down to these lows in here. Okay, 41.78 or so, or 86 or so, something like that. Stefan, I don't have the Qs up. I'm sorry. We can look at NASDAQ E-mini if you want, though. You know, again, it's in rollover. It looks a little funny, a little strange here. But look at the high liquidity up here. A ton. Look at that. 11,000 contracts up here, or 1,100 contracts up here. Yeah, I mean, and so far the structure in this looks like it wants to trade, and I think they're going to go for it right here, right now. Look for it. They're going to trade it 350. Okay, there's your quick move, quick analysis on that. But you know, NASDAQ was showing us some buying coming in here. I've got this on. Interestingly enough, volume dots here. I'm gonna put it on delta. Gold. Okay, quick look at gold. What do we see? I got my stops and icebergs up here. Well, you know, overall gold is you know, it's in a downtrend here. Okay, slightly higher highs here, so it might be starting to try to, I mean, you can see the buying coming in here, so maybe they can trade it back up into this liquidity here. Okay, I like that area because this is where it dropped from, right here. I would be very careful with the RSI. If you find you really have to match it. I mean, just going off of an indicator, I think, is extremely dangerous. I mean, what kind of edge are you getting off of that? You know, you have to quantify your edge. Okay, S&P almost got to, no, it did get to 25 here. Okay, we kind of missed that. That's too bad. We traded back down here and the buyers came in this S&P here. Okay, so anyway, guys, we got to wrap it up here. Yeah, hope you liked the webinar. If you did, give us a thumbs up and follow us here if you like, or subscribe. Yeah, you know, a couple big scenarios here. Okay, it seems to be, so far it wants to go to the upside, so we're looking for not only 25 here, we're looking for, and this is looking like it wants to break out now. Be careful, but like, look at the volume here, right? Looks good. Look at the bid, looks good. Bigger picture, 25 up to here, this liquidity up here, it's been in here since 9:30, so up here around 33. Okay, that would be the primary scenario to look for here. Okay, and it looks like it wants to do it right now. Okay, based on the order flow we're looking at here, even on this higher time frame. Now this is good. This is the kind of move we were looking for. Now let's align that order flow, higher time frame vision with our candlestick chart and our levels. And we were talking about this level up here around 36. So it looks like it wants to do it. The hourly chart here, 15-minute chart, these three candles here where it's like, oh, ho hum, you know, it's kind of it's not really showing much interest. Well, they're showing interest now. Okay, and we can see it. Look at the volume. Okay, so that's the primary scenario until we see something different in here in the order flow. All right, so yeah, hope you guys found this helpful. But very, very simple. This is very simple stuff. This is not complex. You know, and again, this can all be extrapolated to any trading plan. If you trade fibs, you can start to understand your fib levels and then order flow around those levels. Okay, if your volume profile, if your patterns, like this is a breakout pattern here, and you look for it to create a new trading zone. Okay, one from one from like here to here. Okay, all right, guys. Well, yeah, thanks for coming. Tomorrow I'll be in for like about 15 minutes or so, and then Jay Trader's going to come in and trade stocks. So it's always a treat to have Jay Trader and to have Scott Pulcini on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, we'll see you then. Else, yep, good trading and have a good day.